It's the reason that Tanya is not the sefer that it should be, which means learned by every Jew every day, because people don't get it. They don't understand Tanya. It's a very deep misconception on Tanya, and when people learn Tanya, they get a very, very negative self-image, and it ruins the entire experience of Tanya. It's interesting because in the first chapter of Tanya, the Rebbe says he's afraid that people will see themselves as Rishayim, and they'll go into anxiety, and they won't be able to serve Hashem with joy. And that's what happens to most people learning Tanya, or at least a lot of people learning Tanya. So it's like such a tragic paradox. In chapter 1, he says that he's worried about that, and that's exactly what people are doing with Tanya, which means they're completely clueless about Tanya. Here's the rule in Tanya. It says in the introduction that all of Tanya is based on the Dibur Shel Chiba, conversation of love. Which means if there's one line in Tanya that you're not experiencing love, you're not learning Tanya. You're imposing your own wounds on the Tanya, which I don't judge, I'm just saying, but it has nothing to do with Tanya. Tanya, in every line, you should be feeling the Alter Rebbe's love. If not, just know this is a litmus test. You're not learning Tanya. So I'll just say one line there, because really this is not just a short question, but it's really a whole long shiur, but I'll just give a 30, 40 second version of this. The foundation of Tanya is that, Yutas Kislev, we start learning Tanya again. So those who don't learn Tanya, it's good to learn Tanya, because Yutas Kislev, you finish the whole Tanya. You learn every day a piece. When you learn Tanya every day, it sets a tremendous tone for the day. Puts you on the right trajectory. But there's a few conditions how to learn Tanya. Okay, the first thing you have to understand is as follows. Whenever it says in Tanya, Russia, it doesn't mean wicked. Russia means weak. Russia means I'm operating from a place of coping mechanisms. That's what Russia means. That's what Russia means. Weak. I'm weak. I'm not in touch. I didn't step in to my own inner light. That's what Russia means. Russia is not Russia, Merusha, you're a wicked, evil, tyrant, dictator, evil human being. That's not Russia in Tanya. You have that Russia. In Tanya, Russia is, I'm operating from a place of coping mechanisms. That's what I'm doing. In fact, number one. Number two, the word Ra in Tanya doesn't mean evil. I know the English translations, that's what they do, but it's a wrong translation. They meant well, but it's a wrong translation. The word Ra doesn't mean evil. The word Ra in Tanya is like in Kohelet. In Kohelet, there's an expression, Hevel u'ru'ut ruach. What's ru'ut ruach? A fragmented spirit. In Baba Kama, we have Kosel Ra'ua, a flimsy, broken wall. Ra'ua. Ra'ua means a weak, broken wall. Ra in Tanya means you're broken, you're fragmented, you're not aligned with oneness. You feel that you're alone and you're separate. It's like the whole matzah and the broken matzah. So when you're broken, you're not part of oneness. You're not part of infinity. That's Ra. Ra is any vision of life and any instinct in life and any behavior in life that is not based on your alignment with oneness and infinity. That's called Ra. You get that? Third thing you have to know about Tanya is whenever it says Nefesh HaBahamis, it means I'm operating from a defensive space, a survival instinct, which puts me, by definition, in a shell and detaches me from experiencing my inner life force and energy. If you know these three things, you'll be able to learn Tanya in a different way. Again, Russia is not wicked. It's weak and operating from coping mechanisms. Ra is not evil. It's any reality or instinct or drive or behavior that is not aligned. It's not based on the vision that you're aligned with infinite oneness. You're broken and alone. Nefesh HaBahamis is basically whenever I am in a survival modality. When the Nefesh HaBahamis rules, it means I'm in survival mode, detached from my inner life force and energy. And the whole Tanya is basically how to help a person to live with an open heart while we have coping mechanisms and we can easily fall into them, to be able to have the awareness that I can make choices and step in every morning to my inner life force and energy. The moment you get this, you will be grateful for every line in Tanya. It's a gift of infinity. But when people don't understand this, it could be a traumatizing book, because we impose all of our education trauma and all of our Yiddishkeit trauma and all of our Gullus trauma onto the Alter Rebbe, and we think he wrote a book to traumatize more people in knowing you thought you were a tzaddik, at least a Beinani, and now I'll show you you're a Russia, Russia, you don't even have a moment on Halavai, Beinani, and you're just a Russia, so now let's eat Ragalach. So I'm telling you, if you learn the learn of Tanya and you're not crying with joy and love, Avas Olam, Tanya was written with Avas Olam. That's a good line. Tanya was written with the love that exists in the whole world and in all of history, and it's all there in Tanya. If you're not experiencing that, I'm not judging you. But just realize it's not Tanya. I'm in my own stuff, which is fine. I got that for Bahamas. Now you got to learn Tanya to deal with your stuff. But don't put your stuff on Tanya, because Tanya is all about dealing with stuff, not stuff. It's not part of the stuff. It's part of the redemption.